My name is Nisha Katona, and it's always been my aim to lift the veil on ancient curry making formulas so that you can create pretty much any curry in just 3 spices and 15 minutes. And I firmly believe that this can be done if you understand which spices go with which ingredient and how you put them together. And that's what I want to show you. So can we start with vegetables? The way that we start vegetables in authentic Indian cooking is by heating a little bit of oil in a pan. Just enough oil into which we can drop our first and most important spice, and that's usually a seed, and it's called a head note spice. Well, I call it a head note spice because it will dictate the overall flavour of a dish. So let's start with a potato curry, just to show you how quick this is. I'm going to make potatoes, and I think the citrus notes and cumin really lift the earthiness of root vegetables, so that's a very good head note spice to use with root veg. Cumin goes in, and if you just have a look in the pan here, it's starting to crackle, and that is what we want. They must crackle because only then do they release their true flavours. As soon as they have crackled, you can put in your main vegetables. So we go in with the potatoes. Now in goes the second spice. I promised you 3 spices. So we go in with our second spice, which is turmeric. Now the wonderful thing about these vegetable dishes is that there are 3 spices, but 2 always remain the same. That's turmeric and chilli. And the third and last spice to go in is a little bit of chilli to taste. Now the main body of the dish is done. It's spiced. We then go to the second stage of any curry making. And the second stage is to consider our finishing flavours. The finishing flavours that you need to consider with every vegetable dish correspond to the various areas of the tongue. Salt, sweet, sour, bitter, and in Indian, pungent. What we use to achieve those flavours is salt, sugar, tomato and lemon, and the pungency is brought in by watered down English mustard paste. So that is your kind of flavour armoury. We've done the spicing, and now we're ready to think about how we want the dish to taste. Now, let's make this into a kind of tomatoey Bombay potato dish. So a bit of tomato goes in. Turn that down. A bit of salt and sugar. Switch that off. And there is a very basic potato curry. I'm going to cook a little bit of cabbage now, and these leafy vegetables really suit the head note spice of mustard seeds. So our formula demands that we put a bit of oil in the pan, which I've done, and into that I drop a few mustard seeds. In we go with the cabbage. And then we're ready for our next 2 spices. I promised you 3 spices. Spice number 2 is always turmeric. Spice number 3 is chilli to taste, giving a little bit of heat, but also quite a bit of flavour. As soon as that vegetable becomes soft, we consider our finishing flavours. Now, these leafy vegetables with their own pungency really suit mustard paste, we have found. And so I add a little bit of watered down mustard paste, a bit of seasoning, so a bit of salt, and something to meet the sweet need, which is a little bit of sugar. With meat, you start all dishes with onion, ginger and garlic. And that's what I've done this time. A little bit of onion, ginger and garlic, and as soon as they are soft and translucent, in goes the chicken, followed very quickly by our head note spice, garam masala. A bit of turmeric, spice 2, and a little bit of chilli powder as our third and final spice. We look at our finishing flavours, and we're going to use both creme fraiche and tomatoes to give you that recognisable chicken tikka masala colour. We're going to season that with a little bit of salt. Quite a sweet dish, chicken tikka masala, but of course it's all to taste. You can do what you like with the sugar. Put in your final finishing flavour, which was a good helping of either cream, yoghurt or creme fraiche. And there we have a basic chicken tikka masala. 3 spices and just playing with your finishing flavours.